Hello? Test? Tell me if my mic is too loud. Okay, you can hear me at least. That's good. Is my mic volume fine compared to the music? Or am I too loud or too low? Or is the music too low, I guess? Hello, everybody. It's perfect. Oh my god. There's music. No music. Oh, well, okay, then I guess the music's too quiet. What about now? Too loud? Let me turn it up. Wait. Is this fine now? Sorry, I changed it again. Is it actually too loud now? Or are we good? A little bit too loud? No, good. Okay. Good. Nice. Alright. Perfect. Well, let's do the intro thing then. Let me press some buttons because I don't have my stream deck yet. So we do, wait, I press this button. Then we press this button. Perfect. Alright guys, we're gonna do a little bit of a short stream because I don't have my prepper set up yet. Don't have my keyboard or my camera or my stream deck or whatever, so we're just doing short stream. This is where I'm gonna be streaming from though. I'm in the Alienware liquid facility. I mean, I do have a keyboard, but it's like a English layout keyboard. And I use a German one, so half my keybuttons don't work. But it is what it is. But yeah, so here is the room that all the casters are gonna be in. And like, I don't know who else is gonna be here. I guess anyone that wants a PC, I guess. So yeah. The flight was way too long. I mean, the first one was 8 hours and then 6 hours. And then it was 3 hours in New York. The thing is, the worst part was I looked at the layover, 3 hours. I was like, oh my god, that's so long. But then the whole 3 hours, I was actually like just busy, like sitting in queues and doing things. Yeah, it was horrible. 2 hours border control, like passport control. So dumb. And then I had to sit another like half an hour in security check, even though I already had done that. It's like, I mean, I don't know. Thanks for 2 months, this group, what's up? And I was just so tired when I came back, even though I slept in the plane a lot. But you know how it is. I guess you never get like proper sleep. So when I came back, I went straight to the apartment and just slept again. I played one TFT game and then I fell asleep. And then I woke up at 5 a.m. So that's great. It's fine, it's fine. My hot take for this tier is that it will be the most mythic cleared raid since Emerald Nightmare? No, I don't think so. That is indeed a hot take. So the chairs, well, the chairs are gonna be for the people that come here eventually. It's just that, like I'm here a little bit early. Well, production is here, and most of the players are here. But I'm the only caster that is here so far, I think. And this room is for casters, so people are gonna come here and set things up eventually, the next few days. Also, yeah, my suitcase didn't arrive yet, which is weird because I was tracking my suitcase and it says that it's in LA. It arrived in LA yesterday, and then it said that it left the facility yesterday at 11 p.m. in LA, and I'm also in LA. So how could it not be here yet? It's a bit worrying. I'm actually gonna have to move this screen up a little bit. Like this, I guess. Yeah. Okay, now I have to fix the thing. Wait. How do you... Wait, I'm confused. Hey, Stricken, what's up? How do you, Okay, this is a dumb question, but how... How do you, like, go to your desktop? Is there, like, a shortcut to just go to your desktop? Like, actually, the back. Sorry? Yeah. Start E. Oh, D. Oh my god, magic. Thank you. There we go. Windows button D. Oh my god, it's actually so convenient to know that. I usually just always press on the button, like at the taskbar on the right. There's a thing you could press. But that's not here, so now... But it's so much more convenient to just press that on the keyboard. Okay, this is better. Is Naguura gonna break 3 PCs this time? Well, hopefully not. But I don't have my stuff yet, so I'm not sure if it's gonna break. It shouldn't break with the stuff that I have now, because I don't have any Elgato products. Things that usually break the PC is Elgato stuff. But this time, or whatever I have now, is not that. Actually, I do have a capture card from Elgato. But that one seems fine so far. How long are the drops still going for, by the way? Until Tuesday? Hey, Bartosz, thanks for 6 months. What's up? 2 days? Oh, then the mount. Oh, so it's like back-to-back drops even during the... Okay, I see. Also, I wanted to stream earlier, but Kadian asked me if I have a high key to do with them for next week. Like, with my old, like, advanced people, yeah? And I honestly didn't think that much of it. So I was like, sure. Like, what could possibly go wrong? And then we wiped on the first boss of my 27 Ruby life pools that I had for like 40 minutes. Then we realized, or we thought, we literally just cannot kill it. So we had to deplete the key to a 26. And then we were in that key for another like 60 minutes. So, yeah. That happened. I think it totally was like 2 hours that we were doing this key. Yeah, otherwise I probably would have streamed earlier. Oh, how is the in-game sound? Is it fine? Or is it a bit too loud? It's fine? Okay, cool. Cool. Wait, this didn't count or what? Oh yeah, and then I didn't bring. I keep forgetting about it, like every single time, because you can charge your phone in like an airplane and at an airport just with a normal USB. But my charger has like a USB-C to USB-C, right? And I always forget. So I'm like I always bring my charger, but obviously I can't plug the actual charger in, so I have to pull out the cable, but it's a USB-C, so that doesn't work. And then I can't charge my phone. And the funny thing is that I couldn't charge it once I was here either, because I have an EU plug and I forgot to bring an adapter. So I couldn't charge my phone from when I started flying in. So from Belgium till LA, I couldn't charge my phone. And magically, it did not actually run out of battery. At the very end, when I arrived at the apartment here, I had like 8% left. And then I couldn't charge it, or I thought at first I couldn't charge it at my apartment either. But thankfully, I was in an apartment, I believe it was from like like the League of Legends players or something. And they had an Alienware PC in their room, which has a USB-C, so I could charge it. But it was really dumb. So there was an Alienware PC on like a desk, and I wanted to sleep or like lie in bed, so I like pulled the Alienware PC over to the bed, and I plugged in my USB-C and my phone. I was lying in bed playing TFT. It was great. And then the Alienware PC has like the blue lights, so and it's loud. So yeah, I was sleeping with the PC on. But then thankfully I had shades, like eye shades from the flight that I was given. So it worked out great. Also, the apartment walls are still made out of paper. I'm still impressed just how bad, um, like the sound is, like the walls are in these apartments here. It's actually crazy. Like you hear another person breathe from like the apartment next to you. It's like if they breathe loudly, you can hear them. It's so dumb. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Like I think it's mainly the doors, maybe not the walls, but like even the main door to like your apartment is not like fully closed. Like you can see on the side that it's just open. Like you can literally see the light come through, which is just like unreal to me. That they built apartments like that, where you literally just you're not fully closed doors, like or fully sealed walls. It's probably because it's California and they don't care that much about like because the weather is always like good or the temperature. So I guess you don't have to be super careful about your insulation. I don't know, but you do have an AC, and I'm sure ACs are more expensive if you have holes in your walls. I guess I don't know. I think that's the norm. Well, I mean, I kind of think it's the norm ish. Like I don't know. It's always just felt bad here in any kind of apartment or hotel room. I don't know. I mean, hotel room's probably better. These apartments are like exceptionally bad when it comes to their wall thickness. What do I have to do now? Cover blah blah blah. Oh, this is about Draken. The time difference always sucks. Yeah. I mean, it sucks because of jet lag, but it also sucks because of just like streaming, I guess, and rating. Because everything I do is to like EU hours, so that's annoying. Thank you so much for gifting 3 months of tier 1 to Fayuna. Thank you so much, Nadian. Thank you. Were those Discord notifications? You can see Discord notifications? You shouldn't see that. The sound? I didn't hear any sound either. Do you mean the sub sound? Like the sub alert? Maybe it was me. Yeah, I don't have any Discord sounds at all, actually. Isolate compared to Tyrol. I don't think you can really compare that. It's very different. But also LA, like the weird thing about LA is like, yeah, it's like a very big city, but it's not like I don't think you ever like realize it's a big city. You know what I mean? Like if you're in Tokyo, you you understand like it's a big city because if you go there, like you see like people just running around everywhere, and you're like in the middle of like every house a skyscraper, and you just walk around. There's like people everywhere, right? But in LA, it's not like that because everything is so spread out and so big that yeah, if you see everything from the top, like if you have like a I don't know, if you take a picture from a drone like really up high up, then you can see okay, it's huge. But if you're inside somewhere in LA, then it's just like I don't know, like you don't realize how big it is because at each individual like point, it's not like cramped, you know. It's all like really spread out, so it never feels like a super big city. It's a giant suburb, yeah, kind of. Hmm. And the race starts on Tuesday. Yeah, I still don't know what I'm gonna do on Tuesday. I think I'm gonna do an all-nighter. I think. Kind of depends. Depends how my schedule is gonna be. Because yesterday I went to bed at 9 a.m. or something, and today I woke up at 5 a.m. So we'll see how long I can stay awake today. Do you get flight stones for doing the race? If it's a world quest? No? Okay. There's no point, I guess. What's over there? Let me just swim through this lava. Oh my god, there's mobs in the lava. Oh, I see it now. Oh, I had to be quick. Oh, but it's just a jewel crafting thing. Your sound, Ingam, is weird? Weird how? How does this work? Why can he do this and I cannot? It should just be underneath it? Oh, it's struggling, I see. Is it count for both of us, or? Dun, dun, dun. Wait, I could not click it! Oh, it was there on the floor! I'm an idiot! I thought I had to click the thing! Oh man. Guys, I know my gear is yellow. I appreciate I appreciate you reminding me, but as long as it's not red, it works just fine. This one I saw before, but I don't know how to open it. Hmm. I have to hit the muffs. Wait, this is annoying? I have to. What do I have to do? Oh, that's trust muff? Oh, I need a debuff? Oh man, that sounds annoying. I'm not doing it. I'm out of here. Hey, Cardin, what's up? Wait, where did my music go? Hmm. Oh, it's there. It was just really quiet. Huh. Hoi hoi. Oh, there's a treasure somewhere. Oh, I see it. I see it. Oh my god, what do I need to open this one now? A hammer? Oh man. What is this green thing? Clicking it on the map? Wait, and then what? Orange and purple crystal. Orange and purple crystal. Where are those? And the pillars. And this also seems kind of annoying. Maybe do something else. As soon as I need more than 10 seconds to open it, I don't want to do it. That's too much effort. Yeah, usually when a new patch comes out like this, I mean, I think it's a really good thing though. Like, it's always like very interesting phenomenon. It's like when Blizzard releases a patch and they make something that gives you player power in within that new zone, then people complain so much that they have to do it. Right? Like whenever, you have Corthia or whatever, where you have to do things to get sockets, or you have to do this to get gear, or blah blah blah. People complain a lot because they have to do it. And then whenever they release a zone where there's no player power related to it, then people complain that there's nothing to do. Which is almost never true. Almost like, because there is things to do in this area, right? Like, it's not that there's nothing to do. You just have to do the things. Like, you can clear every single rare every day. You can do all of the chests. You can do all of the side quests. You can do all the world quests. Like, there's definitely things to do. But because it's not player power related, people don't feel the need to do it, I guess. Which, but like, I totally understand this feeling. I'm not saying that you're wrong to say that there's nothing to do. But the thing is, like, what are you going to do then if you're Blizzard, right? What are you going to do? Like, either you make something that gives you player power, but then people complain that they have to do the new zone. But if you don't give people player power, then people complain there's nothing to do. So, like, what do you do? Like, because there is no, like, in-between option, I guess. Thank you so much for 71 months. iSpot, what's up? How are you? There's hidden stuff too. Yeah, I mean, I personally don't care about. I haven't really done a new zone just because I personally don't care about like other like side quests or world quests or cosmetics. So I haven't done anything really, but I also don't mind. In fact, I was actually really happy that there was not too much to do this week, because I'm gonna be busy with other stuff, right? So I'm really glad there wasn't too much to do, or at least like nothing like player power related. But yeah, once the raid and the plus comes out, obviously people are gonna have stuff to do again. So much stuff to farm um and like things to upgrade, flight stones and to farm, and things to craft and so on. Thanks to the 8 months, Javi. Appreciate it. How are you? The moment this is the in-between option, as you can get the player power before the actual patch goes on, but you can also skip this and get the power from Pleasant Raid. I mean, you can't really get. Well, I mean, yeah, you can get player power right now if you haven't played the first patch to best in slot gear, right? But if you're best in slot gear from season 1, you're not really gonna get any player power now. But that's fine. I mean, I don't think I don't think that's required. Otherwise, you just have this stupid thing where people, like at the start of Dragonflight, for example, when people were farming all of this reputation stuff to get an item that they're going to replace the first week of the season coming out, right? Like everybody farmed Obsidian Citadel for the cloak and like this necklace or whatever. And then everyone farmed this, like all of this stuff, and then they ended up replacing everything instantly, right? Which makes sense. Talking more about the crests. Yeah, but you don't really have to farm the crests if you're best in slot gear, right? Like, because Whelpling crests do nothing. Like, Whelpling crests are actually completely useless for anyone that is, like, normally geared. And Drake crests are also kind of useless. You need Worm crests and Aspect, which you can't get this week. Which is good. I mean, Drake quests might be somewhat useful, but not really. Probably not really. I will not tell Max to unban you from his chat. And if you ask me again, I will ban you in my chat too. Hey Tracker, thanks for 68 months. What's up? Rude? That's not rude at all. You're being rude. You're trying to bypass a ban in another streamer's chat by just asking me to unban you, even though I absolutely have no idea what you even did. Like, why would I tell him to unban you? Like, that just makes no sense. Frank, are you a mod in Max's stream?
Yeah.
Some random person just asked if I could ask Max to unban him from his stream.
You want to see what he said?
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
Oh,
Ooh.
let's see what he said.
Frog is gonna see what happened.
What's his name?
Yeah.
What's the username?
Cherry Coke 321.
Okay. Timeouts and one ban.
Oh.
He was banned by maximum.
Oh my god, then it must be bad.
Oh, at maximum, buddy, I'm a 3K IO evoker from Puggy. Who the fuck am I? I literally pug with 24s that don't die. Yet, these dog shit players are dying in a 21. You're pathetic and a fucking simp. You just lost a loyal viewer. Go fuck yourself. How are these guys so fucking bad? It's a 21.
What?
A lot of questions about how often people get released for performance reasons from Liquid.
Okay.
Fragments kicked, KEKW.
Oh.
There's a lot of salient questions as well. Yeah, no, I don't think you're catching an unban, bud. Yeah.
Did you hear all of that?
Yeah, it's not good. It's rough.
You didn't hear it. Okay, well.
That's probably for the best.
It's probably for the best, yeah. None of it. Okay, well. He was basically like flaming people that Max was playing with in like a 21 key. He was calling them all kinds of things.
Yeah, the good part is Max timed him out after that.
Yeah.
He came back after the timeout flaming Max.
Yeah, and then Max banned Cherry because they were shit talking people from his like plus group, calling them like, "How could you die so many times? I'm like 3K Andy, like blah blah blah." Oh, there you go. Frank posted it. It was MDI. They died in a 21. Yeah, you have no clue. There's just no fucking way he said this about MDI. Oh my god, I thought he said it about like a random pack that Max was in. It's even worse than it was in the MDI.
Yeah.
That makes it even worse.
Die in a 21, then yeah.
So anyway, yeah, then Max banned Cherry, and then when they got unbanned, they came back and flamed Max. Bro, if you died at 21, come on, Naguura, you would have claimed somebody who died in a 21. In a 21 in the MDI.
You might just have the best player in the world.
Yeah, I think Cherry might actually. Cherry, you should do MDI.
That would solve the issue, I think.
But I guess the problem is that they can't do MDI by themselves, and they cannot find 4 other people that are as good as him.
Yeah, that's true. But hear me out. It would be free money. Why would a team like Echo not pick somebody up who never dies?
True.
That's free money.
Frank is saying you should join Echo.
Salutations.
Oh man, we had so much fun. Come on, Kuros.
Dude, also, hard respect, Cherry himself typing Cherry is innocent.
Yeah.
Respect that. Third person is not innocent.
I talk about Nagany in third person.
Yeah.
I just want to distance myself.
Yeah, no,
from.
it's the same with Terry Dawson.
Yeah.
It's a completely different person. Alright, well, good luck with that, viewer.
Thank you.
A blast. Regular MPI watcher for sure.
Dude, I'm so glad Frank just walked in and we can literally see the chat lock. That's so funny. what the hell is this? Hydra. What? I have absolutely no idea what just happened. But I got a pouch. Alright then. Clinging dirt covered pouch. What is in this? Is there flight stones in this? Because then I don't want to open it. A few? Okay, then I'm not opening it. Okay, I'm capping flight stones. I don't think I actually have to do that, but I don't know how much time I have next week to actually get flight stones farmed or stuff. So, might as well just do it. Oh no, it's this one again. Hey Kelly, what's up? How you doing? Ready for the race? Do you have fun farming stuff on your 20 million characters? It's hard to not overcap. I mean, I don't have the cap. I mean, but I also did nothing, right? Because why? I mean, I did a campaign, but... I'm having so much fun. I can imagine. No, we will eventually get lots of it. I just don't know how much I get next week because probably don't have that much time to play in Plus, right? And if you're only raiding, you're not gonna get a lot. Especially if you're progressing, right? Because then you're like hours and hours and hours, so you don't do anything. Well, you don't kill anything that would give you flight stones or anything, right? So, yeah. There's a follow the mouse tracks or something? What is this? Exit? No, what? Tracks followed. Following the tracks. Oh, the other direction? Oops. I mean, progression rating is doing nothing when it comes to actually getting rewards. That's actually an interesting concept. I never thought about this. Do you actually think? Because, okay, hear me out. You know, in the like how people in the past were a lot more willing to progress on bosses, like even if it meant you were wiping like a bunch and didn't actually kill anything. And you know how nowadays everyone gets super impatient instantaneously. Like you wipe one time in a pug and you're gone. There's multiple reasons why that is, right? But I think part of the reason is that there's like so many rewards you can get from playing the game, but actually like finishing things, that not finishing things is actually really punishing if you're somebody that has very limited time. Like for example, you need to fill up your vault every week. You want to kill heroic bosses to get more to fill your vault and to get items. You want to do in plus to get concentrated primal infusions for your crafted items and fill your vault, and you want to get valor points and blah blah blah. And all of these things you only actually get when you finish the content, right? So I'm wondering if there would be if things would be slightly different if you would actually get currencies from just attempting things, like literally like a participation reward. You know, if you're like in content that requires progression. So if you're like actively fighting a mythic boss, or you're actively like doing an plus dungeon, maybe you could get like a participation currency reward. It should not be more than what you get for actually finishing the content, but it could be something, right? I mean, just to kind of encourage you to not leave. Thanks for Prime, just say who. What's up, what's up? And thanks for 6 months, Shuffle. I have seen Emma. She did say hi, but they were only here for like 2 seconds. So I was waving and then they left again. So I do have to find her again later. I think she's probably like setting up her stuff. I need to see her. Big kiss to the listener, Callie. I will maybe do that. Oh my god. Could you imagine I actually do that? Oh no. Just like out of nowhere. So like 10 to 20 pulls on a bus is like half a vault slot or so. Yeah, I mean something like that. I don't know. I'm just like, you know, I'm just giving ideas because I want people to like not leave content and actually progress things without feeling like they're really missing out, you know? Which I do think makes sense. But how you balance that would be very difficult. Glow spores. Where are these glow spores? I don't see them. Am I just like really blind? I don't understand. Oh. Oh, I needed my guy to stomp on it. And my guy was busy fighting mobs. Well, can you stop fighting the mobs? Mister. Hello? This guy. I mean, yeah, obviously, if you're only item level 418, of course it would be worth it for you to do content for the vault, because the vault is 421, right? Which is more than what you have. So clearly it would be worth it for you to fill the vault to get a possible 421 upgrade, right? Found nothing, he says. I still think it's just so incredibly weird that they disabled the catalyst for season 1 tier. Because if you like, imagine you're a player that just starts playing now, you're just not gonna have a tier set until you get the new one. Isn't that just like really bad? I don't know. It's so weird. Because if I'm a person that just wants to start playing now, I would like to have the old tier set until I have the new one. But now, any new player that didn't play season 1 is just going to be forever behind until they get the new set. Well, which is obviously not forever, but for a pretty long time. Yeah, especially if you want to reroll. Like, let's say, I don't know, let's say you play a Windwalker, but then for some reason you don't like Windwalker, and then you want to play a different class, but you're just not able to get the season 1 tier. I mean, you're able to do that, but you would have to do like the old raids, and then have to be really lucky to actually get the tokens, of course. Alright, harvest delivered. Thanks for 5 months, Crim Duck. What's up? I'm gonna explain what you have to do on patch day because there's a reason to explain what you have to do now. So on single target you go solar eclipse. On 2 targets you go solar eclipse. And on 3 targets you go lunar eclipse. Hey Kalamasi, what's up? Is that my seat? I mean, it's mine now. Actually, we're in a different room. We're in the analyst room. So none of these are your seats. You can sit behind me if you want, though. Save it for me. No, saving is not allowed. Whoever comes first is allowed to pick a chair. So you gotta come here first. I don't think Warrior Balloon will be back, no. As far as I know, it will not. But maybe. I actually don't know exactly. I mean, if anything, it will only be a single target talent. Like, pure single target. No, I know that you use it to go into solar and pure single target, or I mean, because there's like no other option, right? Because if you don't skill Starfall or this, I mean, you have 2 points to spend, right? So the only other option is going Force of Nature. There's some rares over there. Seriously, gross. Oh, that's hilarious, actually. I honestly even forgot what happened with that person. Like, honestly, I just forgot what they were angry about. Because people are angry about a lot of things. And I forgot what this particular person was angry about. And then a dragon riding to sea. I do love those. Okay, where's this guy? Wait for me. Okay, it's full HP. Thank you so much for raid 7. I appreciate that. How was your stream? He was trashing Liquid. Oh, I don't even remember that. Was I just like defending? the guild? Like, was it like a race to world first, like, thing? People are always so dumb. Oh well. I personally don't think you should craft anything at all. Like, if you have any sparks whatsoever, I would not craft anything. I would not craft anything. Because, like, the thing is, why would you craft something now? I just don't think there's a reason. Because what if they change things, or what if we realize something, right? Because right now there's no content that you need the best embellishment for, or the best crafted item for. Right now there's nothing to do, so I don't think there's any reason to potentially like waste your sparks. And then next week, once Mythic the raid comes out and stuff, then I would just like look again, see what the other people do, see what they craft, see if there's any changes. Just let other people do things first, you know? Yeah, Johnny. Hello, Johnny. How's life? Oh my god, Johnny, I saw you on holiday. Like outside at like the ocean or something. I was a little bit jealous. I was at a music festival in Mexico. What the fuck? That's insane. Wait, where the hell is this? Oh. Stage in the pool? Stage on the beach, lasers and bass? What the hell? That actually sounds insane. Yeah. You back home now? Oh my god, I keep flying to this one chest that I don't want to open. I burned my legs. Oh, I can imagine. I probably would have burned my legs too, and my face. And whatever else the sun can touch. Oh my god, you missed the best thing, Johnny. Earlier, somebody came into my stream and said, "Hey, can you tell Max to unban me from his chat?" And at first I'm like, "No, you're stupid. Why would you ask me that?" And then randomly Frank walked in. And then I was like, "Frank, can you imagine there's a guy that asked me to like unban him in Max stream?" So Frank pulled up his chat log because he's a mod in Max stream. And that person was just like flaming the MDI players in Max's chat because they died in the 21. Like he kept calling them like really bad players because they died at 21. Oh, it was beautiful. And all of the raiders, well, I don't think all of the raiders are here, but a lot of the raiders are here. I saw THD, I saw Goop. I think James is here as well. Scott, Kingfly. Did I see anyone else? I think that might be all the people I saw, but I think they're... Oh yeah, MC is here as well. I'm sure there's more people here, I just didn't see them yet. Because I'm stuck in this room. Well, I'm not actually stuck, but I was playing Ruby Life Pools for 2 hours earlier with the advanced people. So I guess I kind of was stuck in this room. It was funny though, like we were wiping 2 hours in Ruby Life Pools on a 27 and a 26 afterwards. And there's like people here like watching me deplete this key and like dying over and over. There's like a bunch of people sitting here watching me in my misery. It was great. Hey, Arya. Hey, Reaper, thanks for the 45. And thanks for the 4 months, Pebble Druid. Thank you. Um, I have no idea, Johnny. Probably for people that didn't play. Like, I think M Plus is probably not going to be that hard for people that really like played it on beta and PTR. Like people that really know what's going on. I think for them it's going to be fine. So like I don't think the Liquid and the Echo players are going to struggle that much because they probably played a lot of an M Plus on PTR just for that reason. But if there's people who like haven't done M Plus at all and don't know the new dungeons, I think they're gonna be a little bit fucked. Because not only get the keys lowered by 10 levels this time around, but we also have completely new affixes. Right? Like all the affixes are new. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And a lot of them got reworked, so I think people are gonna struggle quite a bit. I think next patch Moonkins are just gonna play the same talents everywhere, kind of ish, and it's these ones that I'm playing right now. I think you just play this everywhere. But I'm not sure because we got some recent changes and it's possible that Umbral Embrace is gonna be better. But I don't think so. Yeah, I think we're just gonna play this on everything. No, never knew. I think they're all the same chairs. I think they're all the same. I don't think they actually increased the dragon's spawn right now. I think it's still the same RNG Fiesta as it was before. Which sucks. It is what it is, though. It's 1,000, what's up? Yeah, how did you guys like the Pringles thing? It was so... Like, they put so much effort into that, right? Like, that was crazy to me. The whole Pringles thing was just insane. Like, they flew us in, and then they had this, like, super fucking cool studio. And a makeup artist. Like, it's like everything. Yeah. And then they had, like, all of these giveaways and all of the challenges planned. I don't know. It was kind of... It was super fancy. And then I was also in a fancy hotel. We had fancy dinner. Yeah, it was crazy. I brought so much candy. I bought so much candy in Spain and in Belgium because I wanted to bring stuff here for like a caster thing. And now I just have so much candy with me. I was actually worried a little bit that they're gonna like that I cannot enter the country because they think I'm smuggling candy. Thankfully, that did not happen. Yeah, I was worried for a second. Requires old trunk key. Oh my god, where's the old trunk key? How annoying is this? Does it take me longer than 10 seconds? Because then I don't do it. Oh. Mm, 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 mm. To catch a mouse. I'm moving on. Wait, what is this? There's a weekly or like a daily quest? Huh. Yeah, what did I miss, by the way? I feel like the last couple of days I didn't really look much. Or I didn't like see what's happening. What did I miss? Anything interesting? Any spicy news? Any drama? Huge drama? Which drama? Wait, what? There's a woman who unintentionally tried to smuggle half of a sandwich into Australia and had to pay a fine of 2K. Seriously? Because there's like meat in it, I guess? What the hell? Oh, the German drama. I did hear about the German drama, yeah. That is some crazy drama. I mean, the funniest thing about the German drama is, okay, I'm gonna give you a TLDR. So there's like a really famous German male streamer. I think so. Importantly, this German streamer is somewhat like left-ish with his content and his like whatever he posts on social media. I guess it's important to mention. So he basically supports all the same ideas that like a left person would support, right? Um, no, they're not necessarily like super political. So I'm not like it's not like the Hassan of Germany. So I don't think they're like super political, or he is not super political, but he's like just supporting those kind of thoughts, right? And I think that's important to mention. But yeah, anyway, so this there's another streamer, like a female streamer, and this German, like the guy, is like a super big streamer, one of the most famous German streamers, I guess. And there's this female streamer, and she like posted a tweet longer about him that like 5 years ago, 5 to 7 years ago, I don't know, like a decently long time ago, he did like he invited her to his place, and back then they were already both streamers, and apparently like he kissed her, or he attempted to kiss her like multiple times, and she like apparently said no or didn't want to, and he just continued to try to kiss her, and eventually she just kind of let it happen, and she wrote about that. That's basically the story. So it's not like super like it's not like super severe, I would say, right? Um, but obviously it was still like it bothered her, and she felt pressured, and it's important to like I think it's fine that she said it. But then what happened was that the internet went like super ham, or not the internet, but like the German people went super ham against like the German streamer, even though she, the person that made the tweet longer, she multiple times said in this like tweet longer that she talked to him and she doesn't think he's like a bad person, but she just wanted to say it publicly to like feel better. Because I guess what happened was, and that's kind of what I read out of the tweet longer, is that this guy became a big streamer and for like and also had like these like super left ideas. So like imagine you're in her shoes, right? And you feel like this guy kind of like made you feel super uncomfortable and like kind of like you're in his apartment and you don't think like you think you're just friends and he like tries like he approaches you and like doesn't accept like no and you feel super uncomfortable or like blah blah blah. Like imagine you're in this situation, right? And then afterwards this streamer becomes really famous and is kind of known for like supporting women's rights and like all of this stuff, right? Like I can see how she felt awkward about this. Like she felt like he's being a hypocrite, I guess. Um which I totally understand. She felt like, oh my god, this guy's getting so much attention now and just like being like praised by everybody for being such a nice guy when in the past he has made you feel so uncomfortable, which is like the opposite of what he's trying to like it's the opposite of the image that he has, right? So like I totally understand that she was like posting this. But the thing is that she personally in the tweet longer also said that she thinks that he's like like he has changed a lot, she thinks, and that he's like a nice guy and that he has talked to her and she doesn't really hold any grudges against him. She basically explained that she just wanted to say it because she felt like she needs to say it for her peace of mind, right? But she kept saying that she doesn't think he's like a bad guy or anything. She just wanted to have this peace of mind to make this public. And I guess yeah. So anyway, she said all of this. And the German internet went completely like ham about it and called this guy like out a lot. Which I thought was pretty dumb. Because yeah, whatever he did was obviously wrong, but clearly, like it wasn't like a crime that should, like no, he shouldn't be cancelled for what happened, especially since he clearly like is a better person now, and he clearly like improved his behavior, and he clearly like apologized to her, and and she's writing all of this right in this tweet longer that she thinks he blah blah blah, and then all of the people like went ham against this guy, and then the guy wrote a tweet longer at some point. It took him a while. I think it's like was like I don't know, like a week later or something. He wrote this whole text, and basically explained that he thinks it's okay that she posted the tweet longer, but he wanted to explain his side of the story because partially she made it sound a bit maybe more severe than what he like the way he experienced it, I guess. And then he just kind of explained that he didn't necessarily like he interpreted it like completely differently than she did, and he thought that there's like a mutual attraction or whatever, and I guess he just like interpreted like everything kind of wrong and whatever. And yeah, so what all of the things that happen are basically like different the way he remembers it, but he kept saying in the whole tweet that he thinks it's totally valid that she posted it and that it's fine and blah blah blah. He just kind of apologized and said I'm a different person now, I guess. So to me, like honestly, I read both of these tweet loggers just because they're like big streamers and it was like a whole thing. So I read both of it, and at the end, what I conclude personally is just like I don't think there's really any drama. Honestly, like it's such a weak drama. It's so weak. It's such a weak thing. Like if this happened, like to like any like small streamer, people would read the tweet longers and they'd be like, okay. Because yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not that it's nothing. Like it clearly mattered to this person, right? Like it clearly mattered to her, and I don't want to like say that it was nothing, but all she wanted was to say it publicly, and she did, and that should be like the end of the story. And then yeah, everyone's happy, kind of. But because it was like related to like a bigger streamer, and I think partially it also had something to do with this German streamer also being known to be like a left guy. I think if this person wasn't known to be like a left guy, she probably would have been like shit talked for saying this. But because he is known for a left guy, there now everyone's calling him like a hypocrite and stuff like that, right? And, oh, you're preaching for this, but you've done that in the past, like blah blah blah. So people are now like super angry at the guy, which to me is just like. Like just like I don't know, like this is also pointless to me. It's like I don't know. Both of them said their piece, and it's like I don't know. Like it's not worth to like have an investigation into just like fuck whatever. It's like read the fucking text and then move on, I guess. But apparently people don't like moving on, so it's like this whole thing now. Hey Dorky, what's up? Why are there so many chairs in the back? Well, I didn't know which chair to pick, so I just brought them all in here, and I'm test sitting them now. Isn't left in Germany the conservative side? Well, you know what I mean when I say left. I actually have no idea which side the conservative side is in Germany. I don't know. I don't think it's left. Pretty sure it's right. Pretty sure it's right everywhere. But I might be wrong. Thank you so much for gifting us up to Dorky. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I love drama, of course. Because clearly my life isn't interesting enough. So I need to feed off drama. Just like everyone else, apparently. But yeah, like, I like drama, but sometimes I just read it and I'm just like, okay. Like, that happened, right? I just think it's funny that people are making such a big deal out of it. Guess hasn't really been anything lately. People are probably bored. I replied to a Jeff Hamilton tweet. He called into question Wowhead's editorial standard and was objectively wrong. Okay, do I have to read this now? Like, is this a more interesting drama than the German one I just talked about? You don't know the drama with the Vlesk and... I don't remember her name. Shit. I know her! Like, I know her... Like, I know who she is, but I forgot her name. The worst. Fabenfuchs, there we go. You never heard of Vlesk before? Wow. Damn, Relo. Don't worry about it, though. You didn't miss much. Unless you love drama, then you didn't miss much. make-up drama? Oh, that sounds great. But what was the Jeff Hamilton thing? Now I want to know. Is this a long time ago? Dude, Jeff Hamilton tweets a lot. That's a lot of tweets. He's tweeting a lot about ice hockey. Oh my. Wait, is this the actual Jeff Hamilton? Did I just open a random Jeff Hamilton Twitter that is talking about ice hockey? Oh my god! It is another person. And they're a sports slash investigative journalist. Huh. Interesting. Well, now it explains why they were talking about ice hockey so much. Alright, there we go. Why did the really boring post trinkets have been changed on live and Jeff Hamilton started saying it was bad? Oh wow, I had to do that. Okay, why? That is weird. His point is that it was a bug fix and not tuning, and the post is basically misconstruing that. Yeah, I mean, I guess he has a point. But I think that like there's some chinks that actually got tuned. Like they were not just bug fixes, right? Like there was actual tuning. Yeah, I mean, there's like something that had damage increased by 18%, healing increased by 12.8%, crit strike amount increased by 12%. So there were definitely also like tuning changes. Even if his point was correct that the RPPM change was not maybe a tune, but rather like a bug fix, there were still, on top of that, there were still tuning changes. So, okay, because, okay, I personally think that WoW hats is sometimes like actually like I don't agree sometimes with what they're posting. Like some let's be honest here, sometimes Wildhat just posts shit. Like like the fucking like single targets rate statistic they always post and like the tier lists they post. Like there's definitely stuff they post that in my opinion is just not something they should post. But then I don't think that was one of those things, right? Because if there was trinket changes and they post the trinket changes, well, I mean, that is something I would want Wowhead to actually post, right? Hey, Corey. Jim. Let's see what Jack said. Well, so I guess Jeff's point is just that they should have worded it differently, yeah? But I don't even think that the post was that bad, because I guess what the point is that they shouldn't call it a nerf, because whenever the WoW community hears nerf, then they lose their minds. Like literally, like no matter what it is about. Every time they hear the word nerf, it's like the end of the world, right? It's like they stop. Like it's like it's a trigger word, the word nerf, and your rational brain just stops working. And I think that's how the WoW community is. And that's why I understand if they would have said nerf, but they didn't. Thank you so much for the donation, Psycho Knight. Thank you so much. I should buy Kuro's dinner. Kuros, what do you want? I'll order your dinner. Well, I mean, it's probably too late to order dinner now in Italy, but you can have some dinner tomorrow. Actually, you probably still have spec lying around, right? Because I sent him like a lot of spec. He also looks at it from a much more casual player viewpoint, someone that doesn't need to know how good or bad a trinket is before it even comes out. Yeah, yeah, I do see the point in general, but I also think that Wowhat is a literal like website that is not like it's by default not made for casual players, right? If that's how you view a casual player. Like if your view of a casual player is somebody who just locks on, doesn't care about nerfs and buffs and just plays the game, then that person would also not check Wowhat. They would just play the game, right? So I do think that Wowhat is definitely a site that is supposed to be for more like people that I don't know want to have more info, I guess. Oh shit! Thank you so much for raid, Max. Appreciate that. Thank you. Wait, Max, are you here already? I've been sitting in this room for so long. I don't know who is here already. Thank you so much, Max, and welcome everybody. I have a lot of chairs here, yeah. So since I one of the first casters here, they brought me all of the chairs, and I'm just gonna test sit in all of them, and then I'm gonna choose whichever chair is the most comfortable. I figured that's what I'm gonna do. Thank you so much for gifting a tier 3 sub to Max. Thank you very much, Anonymous. You get to decide who gets a chair? Yeah, we could play a game actually. Like, when the casters are all here, we could play a quiz or something. And whoever gets the most answers wrong just doesn't get a chair. Yeah, musical chairs. Yeah, we could play musical chairs. Good point. Naguura is hiring a shipping container to bring them all back. All of these desks are actually standing desks. Well, I mean, they're like adjustable desks. You can push them like up and down. I'm too scared to do it though. Because I don't know if the cables are all safe. If my stream breaks in a second, you know. Okay, I'm going down again. Okay. But yeah, you joined at the perfect moment because we are farming flight stones. But we're also talking about drama at the same time, so I mean, what else do you want in life? Talking about drama and farming flight stones, amazing content. Thanks for the sub, Mr. Ubermeister. Thank you, thank you. We love drama. Oh, yeah, I know you do. I know you do. I mean, who doesn't? Well, I mean, I guess everyone loves drama if it doesn't involve them, though. Because who wants to be involved in drama? No one. But who wants other people to be involved in drama? Everyone. Thank you so much for gifting us up to Shocks. Appreciate that. And thanks for 6 months to Lima. Thank you, Never Dude. Hey, Crappa, what's up? Are we farming about farming dirt too? We're not actually farming any dirt, no. No dirt farming in this stream. Also, I'm not opening any chests if the puzzle that I have to do to open it takes longer than 10 seconds. That's my rule. 10 seconds is the rule. Shocks actually subbed for 26 months. That's actually so good. Do you think Shocks will ever watch my stream? And then she's like, what the fuck? Why do you have a 26-month loyalty badge? Yeah. No, please do not. Please don't, Krabba. Please don't. No. It's too much pressure. Yeah, so they buffed Moonkin a little bit. It's not a big buff. I think it's 3%-ish. Single target buff. The main thing is that we're actually gonna enter solar eclipse on single target now. And on 2 targets. Yeah, let me try to remember. So we go solar on 1 target and 2 targets. And on 3 targets we cast Wrath in Incarn. But we cast Starfire and Lunar outside of Incarn, right? Which is really weird, but it makes sense, it makes sense. Yeah. So we Wrath on 3 targets if we're in Incarn. And we enter Lunar and Starfire on 3, like outside of Incarn though. Moonkin's complaining even when they get buffed. Who's complaining? Who the hell was just complaining? Dude, I swear to God, people are so annoying about the whole Moonkin thing. A Moonkin will just say anything. And people are like, lol, look at the Moonkin complaining. And I literally didn't complain whatsoever. I was stating facts. Oh my goodness. Oh. Who's complaining? Moonkin. Okay, I wasn't complaining until somebody was annoying me with the Moonkin thing. Then I was complaining. I mean, who wouldn't be bothered by this shit? Like it was the thing about the Moonkin hate. It's like I mean, it's still funny if it's like in a meme way, but the one thing that annoys me is that there's so many people who have absolutely no clue about Moonkin or anything really, and they just randomly like hate on Moonkins because they want to be part of the meme. And it bothers me so much. It's the same thing like when somebody watches the MDI and they call the players bad. Or when somebody watches the Race World first and they say like dumb shit. You know when the Race World first happens and it's like, oh my god, why is this player always dying? Or like, oh my god, why does this one player do so much less damage than this other player? And they're like no clue what they're talking about, right? And it's the same annoying shit when random people talk shit about Moonkin, even though I have no clue what they're saying. Someone will be like lol Moonkin and someone else will say yeah and burn this house down too. Oh my god, yeah. I keep bringing up this example of Argus because it was the most ridiculous thing. Do you guys remember in Argus? In the last phase, if you died, you didn't actually like really die. You were like a ghost in like another like realm, and you could like pick up orbs or something that you actually needed to do to kill the boss. So every time at the start of the phase, somebody would suicide on purpose to do the ghost phase. And it was usually a demon hunter because they were fast. Thank you so much for the donation. Naguura's inner thoughts. Yeah, those are exactly my thoughts. But yeah, anyway, so demon hunters were always dying first. And I swear to God, like every Twitch chat was always like, replace the demon hunter. He keeps dying. And they had no clue, obviously. And I was like, oh. Why are you bass boosted? I don't know what that means. I did not know what that means. True, they had the movement speed from Mastery, yeah. Poor Dr. J doing the Serenity streams? Wait, what happened there? I don't actually remember what happened there. Lol, maybe you should have just done a better job casting. I wasn't casting, there was no racial for I was playing the game. Maybe you should have done a better job casting. Yeah, sorry, it was my bad that people are stupid. Why do some people have... Oh, I get it now. If you're a first-time chatter and you're a raider, you have like a special thing around your name. Do you see that too, or is it just me? Do you see the whole like raider from Max? And like the first-time chat thing? Stream and mods only, yeah, okay. Yeah, like some of them are just yellow if they're like a raider, but then it's like yellow and purple, which kind of looks like my my camera frame. If they're like a first-time chatter and a raider simultaneously. There's nothing to do with right, but it says first-time chat from raider. Like, so I think it has to do with that, right? You can disable it if you want. Nah, it's fine. But if you think about it, though, it's kind of toxic that only the streamer can see it. You know why? Because they want you to pay more attention to a first-time chatter. So they get a special border. They literally want the streamer to see that you're a first-time chatter, so I pay more attention to you, so to bait you into staying. Because then when you're not a first-time chatter anymore, I'm just gonna ignore you. But at the start, they want you to like lure them in. It's like, oh, look, it's a first-time chatter. You should answer their question. And any non-first-time chatter should just be ignored or what? Like, what is this? That's very toxic. So from now on, I'm just gonna ignore every first-time chatter, and I'm only gonna talk to people that are here a lot. Actually, I'm gonna just put sub-only chat. Only gonna talk to people that are subscribers. That's a much better idea, even. Just turn it off. So yeah, I could completely turn it off. Yeah, only talk to people in real life. Man, I need to farm some more flight stones, and I don't know how. Maybe I should just not. Maybe I should do something else that is more fun. The thing is, there's actually no one doing anything this week. Like, there's just nobody doing high keys. See? Highest keys at 26. No one's even doing 25. Look at this. Oops. It's a disaster. Mm-mm. Get lessons from the old events and rares. Not sure about. Sure. True, it is 2 a.m. Yeah, good point. But it's the weekend. So. Thanks for giving us up to Pokey. Appreciate that, Never Knew. Thank you, thank you. Notice me? Of course I will notice you, Mary. You're a first time chatter. You're special. But only today. Tomorrow I will be ignoring you. Just so you know. Yep, all the first time chatters are very special. Hey, Nexter, what's up? You are, Conan, you are. In 20 plus queues, how does balance compared to Shadow Priest and Destro? Like right now in 10.1? So hard to tell. I think in 10.1, people really don't know much about balance. Because it's like, we don't have the new tier set yet. Yeah, we did test some stuff on PTR, but the tuning wasn't final. Yeah, it's like hard to tell. Moonkin is in general not very good on lower keys, though. And, I mean, I'm saying lower keys, but 20, I guess, is not even that low. But it also just kind of depends. But let me say it this way. If things die fast, then Moonkin is usually not that good. So it might be a little bit better than it was in Season 1, though. Possibly. A little bit better. But we still have to put dots up on everything, so... And that's the thing that slows us down the most, I think. Moonkin just needs to ramp so long because of applying dots. Because without our dots, we do, like, no damage. And putting dots on everything just takes a long time. Johnny, this is illegal! Johnny! I use a Fury of a Loon, not Full Moon. My talents are top left. Oh my god! It's so loud! I think to this day, this is still the best thing you ever made, Johnny. There's just no way that this isn't the best thing you ever created in your life. It's so fucking good. Why am I toxic? I'm literally being nice. I said Johnny did a great job. Oh no, guys. Twitch chat found the no button. They found it. It's a disaster. To distract you. I don't know if you can hear me because it's super loud. How is the weather at your place, guys? Let's talk about the weather. Oh, I think you broke it, actually. I actually think you broke it. Good, good. Finally, some peace. The cooldown. Yeah. And usually people don't spam it that much because it costs shadow points. Oh. Yeah, funnily enough, I landed in LA and it was colder here than it was in Belgium. I don't know why. It was kind of windy, I guess. Yeah, it's not that warm today either, I don't think. I'm sorry about your ears. Well, actually, I'm not sorry. It's chat's fault. Chat is toxic. They were the ones that spammed it. So meet and greet for fans. As far as I'm aware, there is not. But that would be something that you probably would have to ask a liquid person if they have planned something like that. Nice, nice. You mean like Aquaman? Yes, I do mean Aquaman. A person gives a child a really noisy toy. Do you blame the person or the child? Well, the person. But the reason why I would blame the person is because it's a child. Are you saying the Twitch chat is all children? Hmm. You don't blame a dog for playing with a loud toy? Well, okay, so you're telling me the Twitch chat consists of children and dogs? Alright. Well, to be fair, that's probably pretty accurate. For most of you. There's some smart people in there, because, I mean, you do have to think about the fact that there's lots of doctors and engineers in Twitch chat at all times, right? Basically, there's one person that always knows the most about a certain subject, no matter what we're talking about. So those engineers and those doctors are really smart, and everyone else is just dogs and children. I think that's what Twitch chat consists of. Who's the child in the scenario? Because Naguura can't name 20 countries outside of Europe, and I'm pretty sure I couldn't explain tax brackets. Excuse me? I could totally name 20 countries outside of Europe. Maybe. Actually, 20 is kind of a lot now that I think about it. 20 countries outside of Europe. I mean, that's a lot. Are there even 20 countries outside of Europe? And I could totally explain the tax brackets. I could totally do that. Hey, Megs, thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate that. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. How was your stream? Make sure y'all give Megs a follow. See, Megs would also be able to explain tax brackets. And Megs certainly could also name 20 countries outside of Europe. Maybe. That's a lot of countries though. 20. 20 is so many. I could at least name 5. Yeah. I'm totally not jet lagged, Meg. Don't worry about it. Thank you so much for gifting some less sub. Appreciate that. The other way around. Thanks for gifting a sub to make sub. There we go. My brain doesn't work anymore either. Well, it never did really work, so I guess that's just normal. Pedals. Thanks for the 66. What's up? Can you send me a chair? No, they're all mine. Sorry. Well, actually, I didn't test them all yet. So the ones that I don't like, I can send you. Yeah, I will do that. I think Psy is at home. I think he everything went fine. I think there's one thing that actually happened to Psy because he was with me in Belgium, right? And I think his flight was booked for the wrong day. And his flight was like at a really weird time at like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or something. So he didn't sleep after the show because the show ended at 10:30 p.m. Then he was like chilling a bit and then he drove to the airport. And then once he was at the airport, he figured out that his flight was booked for the wrong day. Yeah. But then I think they managed to book him another flight, which but yeah, that was pretty annoying. A lot of radios play out of your room. Looks cozy. No. So I'm actually. I mean, I am in the liquid, like in the Alienware facility. But this room that I'm in is gonna be the caster room. It's just that the other casters are not here yet. I'm in the room where the analysts were the last time, like during the last race. I just tried to count 20 countries out of Europe and I got to 16 easily. I think with a bit of brain juice, I could do 20. That is really hard. Okay, I'm trying this now. Alright, so we have South Korea, North Korea, Japan, China, India, Australia, New Zealand, USA, Canada, Greenland, Argentina, Brazil, Cuba. Wait, Cuba is a country, right? Chile. Is Cuba a country? Yes? Okay, perfect. Dude, I'm just having a really hard time with African countries. Okay, then we have. Okay, we're at 9 only? They only have 9. No, I'm at like 14, right? I'm at 14, I think. I'm at 14, yeah. Okay, so we have Egypt. Then we have Turkey. Does Turkey count? And Russia? Because half of it is in Europe and half is out, so it does count, right? Okay, then. Had Argentina. Then. I mean, do this like small. Oh, Costa Rica? Nigeria? Madagascar? The Philippines? I already said China and Japan. Thailand! Okay, I think I'm out already at 20 though. Oh, I didn't say Dubai. You're a good point. I think it's 5 so far. What do you mean? I think I have 20, no? I think I said 20. Maybe. I don't know. I'm really bad at counting, so. You did Russian, that doesn't count. But how does Russia not count? I think Russia does count. Because some of Russia is in Europe and some of Russia is in Asia. So I think it counts. Right? I think it counts. So does Turkey. Oh, Cyprus. No, Cyprus is in Europe, right? Never mind. Or is Cyprus in Europe? Is it part of Europe? I don't actually know. No, some of Russia's outside of Europe. Huh? Wait, what the hell? And you're telling me I'm the one that doesn't know things? Some of Russia is in Europe and some of Russia, in fact most of Russia is in Asia. The majority of Russia is part of Asia, right? The smaller part is in Europe. Thanks for the 6 months, Lester. Thank you very much. How is that a neighborhood? I'm so confused. Come on, guys. Some consider Eurasia one big continent. I mean, it is. I don't think you can consider something a continent when it's like when it's defined, like when science has a definition for it. It's one big island, but it's clearly defined that Europe is one continent and Asia is the other continent, right? So you can't just say it's one. What about the moon? Good point. What about the moon? The moon is not part of Asia. Well, that's your opinion. I'm so confused, actually. I think you guys are actually trolling. There's just no way you're not trolling right now. I mean, I don't know why you guys think the moon even exists, yeah? We all know it's just a made up thing on the horizon to make people believe that the earth is not flat. It's just CGI, yeah. Streamer ignoring me. What happened, Mix? Wait, I'm not sharing rooms with anyone, Mix. I'm currently alone in an apartment, and I think I'm gonna go to a hotel afterwards. And I don't think I'm sharing a hotel room. I think. I hope I'm not. Yeah, Mix is being ignored because she's not a first time chatter. Did the stingray just dismount me because it dazed me? In the air? Oh my god. It's a disaster. You got Steve Irwin. Oh no. No, I should. Why am I laughing? Oh no. No, that was it was so good but so bad at the same time, and I feel bad for laughing. Yeah. No, no, not Steve. Oh my god. Dude, what is this? What is happening? Thanks, the nation never knew it. Struggling, dude. What are you struggling with? Thanks to 6 months lucky. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, sorry if the sound is like weird. It's because I don't have my proper setup yet. Because I'm in LA and I sent my stuff, my streaming stuff, in like a suitcase. And it was supposed to arrive yesterday, but it didn't yet. At this point, I'm a little bit worried that it's gone forever. It might be. Who knows? What is it with all the sad breakup songs? I mean, I'm listening to them because I have to break up with the chairs. Like, I brought all of these chairs for me, but I can't keep them all because the other casters are gonna come soon and they're gonna need chairs. So I'm a bit sad. I formed a bond with them. And soon I'm gonna have to give them up to the other casters. It's a problem. Yeah, so if another caster arrives here, you gotta yell at them to not take a chair, okay? If you see another, like, person behind me come and take a chair, make sure you yell at them. Make sure you're as loud as possible. Okay, we almost got the flight stones, guys. We're so close. Ooh, there's a chest. Oh no, it's this one that I flew past like a million times already. And I still don't know where the crystals are that I have to click. Well, moving on. Boomy S tier. Actually, I saw that there was a tier list being made by Max. I'm gonna have to see this tier list, of course. Because who doesn't like made up tier lists? Do you love tier lists? Melee DPS tier list? I don't want to see that. Is there a range DPS tier list? What the hell? Thanks for the sub, Fox Ghost Boy. Thank you very much. The range one isn't on YouTube yet. Oh, well, then we're just gonna rip it off his bot. But you should watch the YouTube video afterwards. Of course. Thank you, Fox Boy. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. When was this? Oh yeah, I see. Talking range DPS. Perfect. How long is this video? Ooh, this is hours. Hours. Let's Oh, we're doing a plus list first. Oh, we do raid and then plus simultaneously, I see now. Dude, I just randomly opened the stream and it was Moonkin time. I didn't even do this on purpose. It was. Oh yeah, I need to get this monitor. There we go. Is it loud enough for you? Ah, shit, it's not loud enough. I don't know how to make it louder. Let's see this. Like so? Okay. Oh, it's kind of cold here all of a sudden. What happened? Why are we talking about this? I want to see a tier list. Oh no, he said Moonkin is bad. Uh oh. Uh oh. He said a bad thing, guys. That statistic is so bad. Thanks for Prime, Warfist Storm. Thank you, thank you. It's weird that Max says that because I'm not sure if that's actually true in Dragonflight about the spread out AoE thing. Like, I'm not actually sure. The reason I say that is because I don't think we had a spread out AoE example this rate. Or M plus, right? Or can you think of anything where we had spread out AoE? Well, Brookkeeper wasn't spread out. He was stacked up, right? So we didn't actually have any spread out AoE. And the thing is, I think that on spread out we actually are not going to be that good. Just because, well, it depends how long they're alive. Because if there's like spread out AoE, and it dies somewhat fast, then I think Moonkin is actually going to be pretty bad at it, just because we don't do any damage until we have dots up. And putting up dots, like this is something new in Dragonflight. Before Dragonflight, we weren't so reliant on dots. But now in Dragonflights, we are. So like a shit ton of our damage is not from dots, but the dots give us more damage. This is something that a lot of people don't know, and it's just how important our master is. Let me show this to you. So I know you have like two images, I'm sorry. But yeah, so what the mastery does for Moonkins is that your nature spells deal 35% additional damage to targets afflicted by Sunfire, and your arcane spells deal 35% additional damage to targets affected by Moonfire. And some of our spells, okay, so some of our spells do nature damage, some of our spells do arcane damage, and some of our spells do astral damage. And astral damage is both nature and arcane combined, which means that if we have Sunfire and Moonfire on a target, then with the amount of mastery that I currently have, I would get 70% increased astral damage. So if I have Moonfire and Sunfire on targets, then my Starfall does 70% more damage, right? Which is like a big number, right? And now imagine how things are being tuned. So things are being tuned around having dots up, right? So if there's like a lot of targets and they're all spread out, and I don't have time to put my dots up, then I would do 70% less damage to them than I would do usually, right? If I manage to put my dots up, then I do normal damage. If I don't put my dots up, then I do 70% less than normal, right? Which is fine. Like, I actually think it's a good thing to nerf, because I think this is like a good way of nerfing our spread out AoE damage. Because obviously Starfall is like a super huge radius, and it being super OP with the range it has is a good point. So I think this mastery actually balances our spread out AoE by creating a situation where we need a lot of ramp up to actually get our damage rolling, right? But yeah, the thing is, I don't think we actually had a situation yet in Dragonflight where we could really test our spread out AoE properly. At least I don't know. I wouldn't know which boss that was. People say Broodkeeper, but Broodkeeper was not spread. It was stacked, right? So I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna have to see, I guess. And I'm not sure if there's any spread out AoE fights in Aberrus either. You have this one fight, the steward guy, whatever his name is, where the golems spawn spread out. And other than that, I'm not sure. So if the Calphite from Sanctum came back, what class do you think would top right now? The Calphite from Sanctum? Oh, wait, what? Which boss do you mean? Kel'Thuzad? Oh. Kel'Thuzad, you mean? I mean, Kel'Thuzad was like special. It wasn't really about spread out the AoE on that boss fight. So I don't think that's a good example. Um, I guess the best example would be I think the one boss that I remember the most with like the spread out AoE thing is Council from Naguura. Council was probably the one fight where you had like the most spread out AoE stuff going on, right? Yeah, the waiters and Council, yeah. And on that fight, that's a good point. I don't know which class would do the most damage to those waiters. It could still be Moonkin depending on how long they're alive. I mean, there's like a lot of classes just don't have the capability to hit ads that are spread out. Like you literally just don't have an ability that hits them. Uh, what about healers? Are we still talking about spread out AoE? Thanks for 2 months, Hero. I think that's what Max means. Maybe Moonkin, maybe Affliction, but most classes that are good in a plus can't do turbo spread AoE. But M plus, okay, I think it's like a very bad thing to say that M plus is spread AoE because it's not. Yeah. M plus has absolutely nothing to do with spread AoE. There's not a single situation in plus where you do spread AoE. um, like the whole thing with spread AoE, like I think it's definitely something that you can talk about, but I think it's like very like the reason Moonkin has been good in the past was not necessarily for spread AoE situations. It was mainly for other situations. Like for example, on Broodkeeper, Moonkin was good not because there was spread AoE, but because Moonkin was actually good at AoE, sustained, like sustained stacked AoE, which is still, I mean, it's still something that you should talk about, of course. But it's not spread AoE. It's not like other classes couldn't hit the ads, right? It's like other classes could hit the ads too. It was fun. But then I guess another interesting point about Broodkeeper specifically was that Moonkins could keep up their dots on the boss while also hitting the ads. So because if you put dots on a target and then you keep starfalling, then your dots extend the duration. So even though dots didn't do like an insane amount of damage to the boss, but it was still like something. It was better than nothing, right? So I guess that's another reason why Moonkins were really good on the ads, but not necessarily because they were good at spread out AoE. It was just kind of like you could do boss damage while also doing really good ad damage, and yeah, that's kind of it. Because there's other classes who could also do a lot of ad damage. It wasn't just Moonkins, right? Stacked AoE for demo lock is very different than what you're referring to as stacked AoE. Why? I mean, are you just talking about demo like you mean like the ramp that demo requires? Or what do you mean? About the tiny AoE radius? Yeah, but that's fine because they're all stacked up. Like on Broodkeeper maps definitely are stacked. They spawn spread out, but then they immediately stack up. Like they're definitely not spread. They definitely stack up as soon as they're like attacking, right? They're not standing still. Thanks, 11 months, little angel. What's up? What's up? The problem with this tier, like with the Implast list, is also the fact that it's like, what is this? I assume this Implast list is for high Implast, right? Because if a class is good or bad in Implast, like generally, very depends on the key level, right? I assume this is for high Implast. But any Moonkin player that played season 1, that played low Implast, was like suffering, right? Because Moonkin is really good in season 1, but only on high keys, right? As soon as you join like a 20 key or below that as a Moonkin, you just had like a really bad time because you needed things to live for a long time. So it's hard to. I think it's always hard to make an M plus tier list in general because if you're not being like super specific about what the tier list is about in M plus, then it's hard to like be accurate, and especially if you make a tier list before the M plus even comes out, because no one knows what we're gonna play in M plus just yet. Like, I mean, obviously it's just like for content, right? But it's just what people think is gonna happen. But yeah, I think you have to be specific and say that for high M plus, right? Because if you're looking at lower M plus keys, and by lower I mean even just plus 20, like has Moonkin only was really good from like 24 keys upwards. Anything below that was like, eh. So, but yeah, I assume it's high and plus, right? It definitely depends on how much damage the people you play with do, yeah. Because as a Moonkin, you can do well on a 20 key if everyone else does shitty damage, right? Yeah, Mark of the Wild is super good for M+. The funny thing, though, is I do think... I'm not 100% sure, but I kind of think that a lot of players underestimate just how good Mark of the Wild is. Like in like a puck environment on live servers. Like I definitely think in the MDI and TGP and like well first rating, like people definitely understand how good Mark of the Wild is. But I think if you're pugging keys, I don't think people understand just how valuable it is. Because whenever people think about bringing a druid, they just kind of don't think about how good Mark is, in my opinion. Like I think Mark of the Wild is just something they think about like as like a second thought. you know. But Market of Wild is really good for M plus. Like it's as Max said, it's a flat buff for everyone. Because most class buffs are only good for some people in the group, right? Intellect buff is only good for people that have intellect or use intellect. Then monk buff only good for melee. Demon hunter buff only good for magic damage. Shout only good for melee players. So all of like a lot of the class buffs are, and then stamina is good for everyone, but it's only survivability, it's not damage. And Market of the Wild gives everyone damage, everyone, the tank, the healer, and all 3 damage dealers, and it gives all players survivability on top of that, which is crazy good. Like, it's actually really, really good. But I think people are not really understanding just how good it is. It's honestly comparable to Bloodlust. Because, I mean, if you don't have Bloodlust, you have drums, right? And the difference between drums and Bloodlust is probably like Mark of the Wilds. Maybe Mark is even better. Like, no joke, Mark is really good. Why are you laughing? I'm being serious. Also, to this day, I still think that Mark of the Wild is like one of the worst class buffs. Like, I do not think that Druid needed a class buff. I think that was a really like bad decision in my opinion. Thanks for 71 months on station. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for the sub as well. Old wrecked one. Thank you. I mean, I do think that some Druid specs were not played a lot. Like, Feral and Guardian, whatever. But giving all of the Druids a class buff feels like, okay, well, now we're just gonna bring Moonkins even more and rest the Druids, right? So I don't know, what's the purpose of a class buff when you're just gonna, when you have 4 different specs? It's like, I don't know, like I do think it's a little bit of a weird class to give a class buff to when you have so many specs that could be viable. A leader of the pack for Feral. I think that might be a little bit too OP for like one single spec. Maybe like a nerfed version of it. Give shamans to be a reason to raid, yeah. Yeah, I do think that shamans getting a class buff would have made more sense than druids. The only thing, I mean, shamans have Wind Fury on enhancement, right? Which I do think is a little bit of a powerful buff for one single spec. Honestly, because which other spec has a class buff that is as strong as Wind Fury? I don't know, it's definitely a bit strong. Yeah, DK could have also needed a class buff more than Druid. Or Hunter, even. And people always talk about Bloodlust, but I don't think Bloodlust is actually... I don't know, I think Bloodlust is just super weird, because in a raid environment, you never need Bloodlust. Like, I mean, you obviously need it, but you're never like gonna form a raid group and not have Bloodlust in there. Right? Like, it's just not gonna happen. Because you need a mage anyway for intellect. So you already have Bloodlust, right? I don't know, like, You're just never gonna be in a situation where it's like, oh my god, we formed a group and we don't have bloodlust. Like that's just that doesn't happen. So if your class is bloodlust, it literally doesn't matter. You're not gonna be invited more to raids just because you have lust. Like that's not a thing. And in PvP, it obviously doesn't matter because you can't use lust. So the only situation where bloodlust actually matters is in plus. So literally the only situation. Mark should be boomy only, leader of the pack, tank and feral, and raid wide innervate for Resto Druid. Damn. Yeah, that sounds. That definitely does not sound OP, yeah. Let's do it. 4 druids in every raid? More than 4. B. He puts them in B in the raids. And I think with Steelers, I couldn't. If I would have to put Moonkin somewhere, I would just like take a wild guess. Because the thing is, I don't know how good the other classes are, right? Like, I didn't do like dummy testing on PTR or something. So I have no clue how good all of these other classes are. I know the Moonkin numbers, but I don't know everyone else's numbers. So I would just have to take a completely wild guess, and I would probably put Moonkin at least A in the raid, just because we have a lot of utility that is might or might not be useful, right? In in Vault, it was actually super useful. Like, which is honestly a little bit of an outlier because people always talk about our utility, and most of the time it is good. But then some, like I think Vault was definitely an outlier when it came to the amount of utility that was useful. Because I mean, Resagath, Stampeding Roar was super good. Incap Roar was really good. Typhoon was really good. Solar Beam was really good. Mass Root was really good. Like, there was so much utility that Druid had that was super good for that fight. And I think that's a little bit like of an outlier because usually Incap Roar is not something you ever press in a raid. Or even Typhoon is not something you press in a raid. Or Mass Root. Like, these things are very niche utility usually. Yeah? So the fact that Rasagat had like multiple utility spells from a druid that were like super good, I think that was a little bit special. Like, I don't think that happens every time. But the things that are almost always useful is Stampeding Roar, Innervate, Mark of the Wild, obviously, and just like our. I think Moonkins are pretty like versatile in what we can do in a raiding environment. Like our damage profile. Because I think Moonkin damage profiles is like we're really weak at burst anything, like burst single target and burst AoE. Moonkin is really weak. Um, but Moonkin is pretty good at like most other things with how our talent tree works so far. So like Moonkin basically, and for a long time already, I think Moonkin was always like pretty like just like jack of all trades when it comes to our damage profile. So if there was a boss fight where you needed multiple different things, like you need to do some single target and some of that and some of this and some of that, then Moonkin was always pretty solid, right? Because if we have our normal spec, then we can kind of do everything a little bit, except burst. As I said, we're really bad at burst single target and burst AoE, but usually that's not really that important in a raid. Or not to say that it's not important, but I feel like there's so many classes that can do burst AoE that usually it's covered by like a certain amount of players that it doesn't have to be everyone in a raid. Like if you ever need burst AoE in a raid, you don't need to bring all damage healers that have burst AoE. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to bring like 10 I don't know, windwalkers or 10 hunters or whatever. Because as long as you have some that have burst, then you're fine. So just because Moonkin doesn't have burst AoE or burst single target, it doesn't necessarily matter that much, as long because most of the time you just need a finite amount. So I guess the damage profile on Moonkin is pretty good for any kind of like more complex fight where you have to do multiple different things. Moonkin is also pretty mobile, I guess, where like if you need to move around a lot, Moonkin is usually pretty fine. Yeah. So Moonkin is like and then you also have to consider the fact that there aren't many ranged DPS. Like in general, because if you have like, let's say you want to bring 8 ranged DPS, like you have to think about the pool of classes and specs that you can choose from, and it's pretty small. There's just way more melee DPS than there are ranged. So for you to be brought as a ranged DPS spec is very easy. Like, like, because there aren't that many. It's really. And a lot of the ranged DPS specs also don't have class buffs. Because who has a class buff from ranged DPS? It's only Mage and Warlock. I mean, Warlock doesn't have a class buff, but you still want one. So you only really want one Mage, one Warlock, and that's it, right? You don't need a Priest because you have a Disc Priest. You almost always have a Priest healer, right? So you don't need to bring a Shadow Priest. And you don't need to bring like any other ranged DPS for buffs. So yeah, I feel like you're very free to bring whatever you want unranged. Well, if you look at melee, it's a little bit more rigid. Like usually you have to bring a warrior unless you have a warrior tank, which might or might not happen, I don't know. Then you need to bring a monk because usually you do not have a Mistweaver, because Mistweaver are not necessarily known to be like super good. So you need to bring a monk. Unless you also have a tank, which again, you only have a limited amount of tanks. So you can't just bring all buffs on tanks. So you need warrior, monk, demon hunter. Then you need a paladin nowadays as well, I guess. You kind of want enhancement shaman for Wind Fury for the melee. And then, as that warrior, I guess that's it. Rogue is like, yeah, you don't really need a rogue, but I mean, it would be nice if you have one. Yeah, it's kind of 2 paladins now as well. Yeah, demon hunter for magic. So I feel like there's just like a lot of melees that are kind of mandatory. While for ranged, it's like you're just much more free in what you can bring. And I do think that that's why some of the tier lists, in my opinion, are generally like I think that if you are a ranged DPS spec, you should be by default 1 tier higher. Like if you compare melee DPS to ranged DPS. Like I think every ranged DPS spec should be 1 tier higher than what you think they are. Just because they're ranged. No joke. I think you should do that. So if you think Moonkin is B, then you should put it to A. And if you think Shadow is A, you should put it to S. Just because it's so much more likely to be brought. I don't know. It just makes sense to me. Yeah, survival hunters. Sad. Hey Alex, what's up? It's funny that you say that like all classes in the game actively sandbag, so tier lists XD. And I don't. Okay, so I'm not saying that there aren't any people that sandbag, because I mean, it's very possible that they do. But I do think whenever it comes to these tier list things, is that a lot of people just literally do not know. Like, I'm convinced that Tettles does not know how good Moonkin is going to be in the raid. Because, I mean, I don't know. And I think a very, very few people know. I'm not saying that Tettles is like, I don't know, that he's like stupid or whatever. But to be able to know which class is good in the raid, you need to have a lot of information. And very few people have a lot of information like that. It's usually only raceable first guilds. Because I'm not talking about specific information. Because if somebody knows a lot about Shadow Priest, let's say, like let's say you're a Shadow Priest theory crafter and you know everything about Shadow Priest, that is not gonna make it possible. It's not gonna make it possible for you to put Shadow Priest into a tier list because you don't know the other specs, which is incredibly important when you make a tier list, because a tier list is a comparison. I always bring up this example of, like, let's say you buy, where I need to find a good example. Okay, let's say somebody asks you to make a tier list for keyboards. Okay? But you only ever had one keyboard in your life, one single one. You know everything about this keyboard that you have for like 15 years. You know everything. You know exactly what switches there are and how they're made and what they sound like and the shape of it, and you know everything about this one keyboard, right? But then somebody asks you to make a tier list of like 10 different keyboards or even like 16 different keyboards. And then you're not going to be capable of making this tier list, right? Because you only know about this one keyboard. So how would you be able to compare it to the other keyboards? You can't really, right? So it's the same with these tier lists. Even though they are knowledgeable people about their class, it's not going to give them the ability to know how good their class is compared to the others. And that's the only thing that matters. Like the literal only thing that matters is how good your class is in comparison to the other ones. And the people that get invited to these talks usually don't know that. Just because they're not sitting on PTR doing dummy tests for hours and hours and hours, right? That's just something that people from like raceable first guilds do, and they're not going to come here and do a tier list for the public, right? No liquid player or aqua player is going to join this talk and actually give you like the proper info that they have from PTR. It's only people that know about their own spec. So it's like, that's why I think that like whenever people say that other people are sandbagging, I don't think, as I said, like I don't think that's true. Like I don't think Tettles or Kalamasi or whatever, like I don't think they're like actively like sandbagging. I think they literally just don't know. Like they just don't have the information, right? So they're just like taking a guess. I wouldn't know either where to put Moonkin, as I said, because I know things about Moonkin, but I don't know anything about the other classes, so I would not be able to accurately place Moonkin in a tier list compared to the others. I wouldn't even know how to approach that. The only thing I would go off is by like past experiences and like the amount of utility you have. So the reason why I would put Moonkin a little bit higher up, is because I know there are range DPS spec, which are in general easier to be brought to a rate, like as I explained earlier. So that's why I think Moonkin as a range DPS is generally a little bit higher, just because they're ranged. Number two, Moonkin has like a decent amount of utility that is usually useful. I don't know any specific bosses in Aberrus where you need something like super specific for Moonkin, but you know, you have Market of Wild, you have Innervate, you have Stampeding Roar, and you have a bunch of like roots and whatever that might or might not be useful, right? So that's why I would put Moonkin like up, but only because of that, not because I think that their damage is good. Because I don't know that. I'm just lacking the information. Yeah. I mean, of course, these tier lists are just for content because people love watching this stuff. People are absolutely in love with tier lists. And it's a little bit like it's so tempting as a content creator to make these tier lists because people are watching it so because people love watching them. But every single high-end like PvE player knows that these tier lists are just, if like they're definitely not helpful, and if anything they might actually be the opposite of helpful. Like they might actually just be damaging to some of the reputation of some of the classes. So there's absolutely nothing positive that you get out of the list itself. The talks are interesting, I think. Like whatever they're talking about can be interesting, but the tier list itself is just bad, in my opinion. Like there's no good thing that could come out of this. The Twitch chat tier list, yeah. I still think that whatever happened to the whole Mookin hate, like, like I know people think differently, but I don't think that Moonkins ever, like in the history of the past couple of years, I don't think that Moonkin ever actually actively did sandbag. Because that's what everyone is like accusing the Moonkins of. Like Moonkins are being accused of actively sandbagging um, like opinions about them. And I actually do not think that's true. Castle Nathria? Yeah, even like it was also not true in Casanatria because Casanatria we literally got buffed a lot like right before the raid came out. And it's like that's not something that like how were we supposed it's like yeah, we put ourselves on like a lower spot, but then we got like buffed a shit ton right before the raid came out. So it's like how is that like we were literally so bad that they had to buff us by like 20% or whatever the number was. It wasn't 20%, but it was like pretty high. And it happens a lot. Like sometimes a class is kind of bad, and then people say it's bad, and then it gets buffed, and then it's kind of good, and then people are like, oh, they lied. It's like, no, they didn't actually lie. It was bad, but then it got buffed. It's like how are you supposed to know that? And I think another thing, but yeah, as I said, like I think the Moonkin, especially like people that are like kind of like known people in the WoW community. You know what I mean? Like either like streamers or like casters or like people in like high end guilds or whatever. Like the Moonkins that I'm talking about here, like me and Teddles and Goob and Canex and whatever. Like these kind of people, I think they usually have like the most accurate information about the class because the Moonkins have really really good theory crafters and we are all getting this information straight from the theory crafters almost immediately as soon as Moonkin gets any kind of changes. So Moonkins always have a lot of info. Yeah, from Jindara and Gas Tank, and well, I mean, there's a lot of people. Like, there's a lot of really good theory crafters that do Moonkin stuff. So people like me get a lot of info really fast. So we have this information, but that doesn't mean that we know stuff about the other classes, right? So if the information that we get is bad in a sense that, like, let's say, for example, okay, a new patch comes out and Moonkin's numbers look super bad for us compared to like the previous patch. So let's say in season 2 we're really good at 2 targets, and then in season 3 we get nerfed a lot in 2 targets, and we do like a lot less damage on them. Then my opinion would be, okay, well, that sucks, and Moonkin is going to be bad at 2 targets. But that might not actually be true, because it always depends on the other classes, right? So I think the fact that we're getting so much information sometimes hurts our like I think it sometimes like hurts our like image, in a sense that we have so much info that the people that talk about Moonkin are very confident in their opinion. Um, while other classes maybe don't know much. So let's say there's like a warlock who maybe doesn't have a lot of like actual numbers from theory crafting, and they just make things up. You know, it's like, oh, I think this spec's gonna be good on single target. This spec might be good here, but maybe they're not. It's like they're just gonna like say some stuff that they think is true, right? And I just took out Moonkin, took out Warlocks, but a lot of specs are like that. Like there's quite a lot of specs that really do not have a lot of theory crafters that do all of this work, like Moonkin does, right? So the opinion that these people are gonna have are just very like general and basic, I guess. So it's just like, oh, I think it might be good or it might be bad. I don't know. Like they're just kind of random, right? And then Moonkins have a lot of info, and I think, as I said, I think some of these like Moonkin players, myself included, will have this opinion about Moonkins because we have all of this info and we think we know, but then we don't because we don't know the same thing about the other classes, right? So I might know, okay, well, Moonkin is going to be worse on single target than it was in season 1, you know, but then that might not mean it's bad if all the other classes also got nerfed a lot, right? Which, and this is like a random example, which is not true, but I hope you understand what I mean. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is I don't think Moonkins are like ever actively sandbagging. They just have the info that they have about the Moonkins, but not every Moonkin knows exactly how much damage every other class is gonna do, right? Like I know what Moonkin can do and what changes we got, and I have an opinion on those. But I don't know how much damage Shadow Priest does, or Unholy Decay, or Enhancement Shaman. Like I don't fucking know, so I can't compare it. And people always ask you to compare it, right? It's not even misinformation. It's just it's definitely not misinformation because we do get accurate information. As I said, Moonkins are pretty knowledgeable about Moonkins because we have really good theory crafters. But the problem is we don't have the same information about all the other specs, which is crucial if you want to compare. So whenever people ask about like these kind of tier lists, it's not that Moonkins would somehow be able to put themselves in a tier just because they know a lot about Moonkins. Like that's something you can do, right? A lot of these people are running with other classes on PTR and rates and then plus. Yeah, but even that doesn't matter. Like, I mean, I did PTR testing and plus and rating, but first of all, when you do in plus testing, um, you're running lower keys. You're not gonna run 27 keys on PTR. And the only thing that matters is high keys for which classes are going to be brought and which aren't, right? So you definitely can't compare because Moonkin will always be bad on lower keys, always, like in the Dragonflight, because our dots mastery, right? So whenever you do Plus and PTR, you're not going to do good damage as a Moonkin, unless you actually do super high keys, which is not really going to happen, right? So, uh, like, you don't really have the information there because we could be good on high keys or maybe we're not. Like, I don't know. We're not actually doing the high keys to be able to tell. And then when you do rate testing, I think whenever you do rate testing, things are just not tuned yet. Like, have you seen the numbers for rate testing? Some of them? Like, half the class tuning is not done during the tests. So you see like an enhancement shaman doing double the amount of damage than everyone else in one of the tests. It's like, yeah, okay, well, does that mean enhancement shaman is gonna be super OP? No, it just means that it hasn't been nerfed yet or whatever. So it's like all the info you have from testing, from the actual rate testing, it's just outdated info. It's not actually like super relevant. Because look at the tuning. Like Moonkin is literally gonna get buffed a little bit on Tuesday, and some other classes are getting nerfed and buffed. So like we don't actually have any info from the PTR with like final tuning numbers. So it's super super hard to tell anything really. Super hard. Unless you're a raceable first player and you do like hours of testing or whatever and hitting dummies. What's he talking about? I'm I'm so confused. That's older than me. So the reason why some casters, like some NA casters, cast for Echo and some EU casters cast for Liquid is just because like you get offers, right? Like it's not you don't have to be from a certain country to cast for a certain guild. Like it really does matter. So if you're a caster and you get offered this and that from this guild and this guild, you just take whatever offer you like. Or maybe you don't get an offer from one guild at all. Like maybe you only get an offer from Echo, right? Then you're gonna go to Echo, right? Like it's very simple. You just get offers, you maybe negotiate, and then you just take whatever you think you like more, whatever pays more, whatever, I don't know. Yeah, it's just a job, and the casters are contractors. It has nothing to do with EU or an NA. It's just it's the same thing. You just work a job. Casters can also consider which guild they think will win, since it's part of their goal is their own exposure. Nah, I would say that's pretty. Not really. I mean, the one thing you can consider as a caster is how much views the broadcast will get. That is something you can think about. Like, for example, if you're casting for one of the. Like, if you cast for Echo or Liquid, you're probably going to have more viewers on the main broadcast than if you're casting for, like, a guild that is competing for a world first but hasn't necessarily won a lot lately, right? Not to call them out or anything, but the likelihood of Liquid or Echo winning is pretty high. Speaking from, history. So casting for either Echo or Liquid is probably more valuable to a caster than casting for like another guild. But the fact if Liquid or Echo is winning doesn't really matter as long as it's close. Because the actual winning in the end is not going to give you any kind of extra exposure as a caster. It only matters that people were watching the stream while you were casting. But no one remembers who casted for Echo when they won like a race. Like if you pick a specific one. Like no one remembers who really casted for Liquid when they won like Castle Nathria, like no one remembers. But people do see the person more if the broadcast has more viewers, which happens if the race is close, right? So I guess every caster kind of wants the race to be as close as possible, mainly. Did you see Nerf's tweet? I did not. I didn't see a tweet. Okay, wait, what is it? I mean, I think people are a bit annoying in regards to Ellesmere's tweets. I don't get it. Like everyone's memeing Ellesmere when he's just like randomly asking for some damage balancing. Like I honestly don't get it. I don't understand. Let him shoot his shot. Like if he thinks that there needs to be balancing, and I don't know. Yeah, I really don't understand why they're roasting him so much for the tweets that he's tweeting. Like, it's not that he was tweeting anything really dumb. He just said, "Please remember we're nerfing Paladin this week to only nerf the actual outlying issues that are causing us to overperform in raid HPS, and not just hit us with a generic nerf that will screw over the content types." And then he's asking for like active damage. It's very interesting with healer damage. Okay, period. So, like the thing about healer damage is the fact that you have, as Ellesmere calls it, like active damage and passive damage. And in general, healer damage is really like weird. There has never been a point in the history of World of Warcraft where healer damage was balanced. Never. And active damage just means that if you actively like have your full attention to do damage, and passive damage just means I'm healing, but I do damage passively. So healers have different kinds of like damage profiles, right? If I can do active damage, I will do this amount of DPS, and if I have to heal, but I still have like dots rolling or whatever, I will do this amount of DPS, right? And he's basically saying that holy paladins um, active damage is pretty bad in comparison to some other healers, which I don't know. I mean, might be true, might not be true. I don't know. But I'm not like I'm basically like I'm just. I think it's weird that everyone's like flaming his opinion so much when looking at active damage is not necessarily like it's not like a weird thing to ask for. I think it's a pretty like normal thing to ask. Like why not? I don't think Blizzard is gonna do anything about it. But I mean he can ask for it and it's fine. Yeah, I don't necessarily think there's anything they'll do, but Twisted had a great reply to this one here. There's something else. Oh, this one. Yeah, so Fired Up was basically like posting this as kind of like a gotcha thing, but like the log that he was posting was like a passive damage thing and not an active damage thing. I do think there's a lot of like one thing that I always and I'm not sure if this is still true, but Restorator was always so incredibly bad at passive damage. In the past, I'm not sure if they're like a little bit better now, but in the past, Restorator was so bad at passive damage, um, and it bothered me so much that other classes, like other healers, could actually damage while healing, and Restorator could just do nothing. Like it was just so annoying. But yeah, apparently, like because this graph that Fired Up is posting is a passive damage thing. So you're basically healing, and this is damage that happens passively. But Alismir was actually talking about active damage, so when you're actually like sitting there and doing damage, like pressing damage spells. So yeah, Twisted actually kind of saved him here. Yeah, I do. It's such a like interesting topic, I think. To talk about like healer DPS because I think healer DPS is so incredibly relevant for high end content and so incredibly irrelevant for lower end content. Like it's so weird because if you look at high and plus MDI and raceable first, then healer damage is actually incredibly important and it will be meta defining. Like it will literally define which healers you bring. One of the most important things to look at. But as soon as you look at anything that is not those three things, as soon as you look at casual and plus, or casual rating, and not even just casual, like even if you look at like top 100 mythic rating, then the damage the healers do all of a sudden are completely irrelevant. Unless it's like a huge gap. Unless it's like Ash and Hollow or whatever. But the fact that a healer can do 30k DPS and the other the one does 50k is so irrelevant for like a top 500 guild. It doesn't matter. So that's why it's such a like niche like topic that I think Blizzard cares very little about because of the relevance being so like small, like such a small portion of the player base is really affected by that. that's that it like really doesn't matter. It's like whatever, dudes. I know. I do think that in high and plus it matters a little bit more compared to rating. But still, you have to do like really really high keys for it to matter. I love it that they stopped catering to those 1% turbo sweaty nerds. I mean, I personally don't think you should. Like, you're being very gatekeepy right now. Something that I personally don't like about this, like, a lot of people have this kind of opinion that they shouldn't cater towards the 1%. And I don't think that that sentence or that argument makes sense if you're not being negatively affected. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's actually just incredibly toxic to like have these kind of statements. Like a statement that says, "Oh, Blizzard should never cater around like towards the 1%." Like I think that's just a super toxic statement, because if it's a change that does not affect you, then you literally just want other people to have it bad, which is toxic, right? Of course, if it affects you negatively, then it makes sense to have this opinion. Because if I am, let's say I'm a normal like mythic raider or a heroic raider, and then Blizzard changes something that is aimed towards like the top 1% raiders, and it affects me negatively as a heroic raider, then that sucks, right? At that point, it's like, what the fuck? Like, why would you do this change and cater towards 1% when it affects so many more people negatively, right? Like, then I understand the opinion. But if there's something that they change that helps out the top 1% and it doesn't affect you negatively, then why would you be mad about that? Like, at that point, you're just doing that of spite. Because you hate the top 1% or something? You know, like, I think that's just like a toxic opinion to have. It's the same thing as if a high end raider would say, "Oh, I cannot believe Blizzard is changing this for transmog farmers. I hate transmog farmers. I don't care about them. Blizzard shouldn't change anything catering towards these transmog farmers." It's like, that's toxic, right? And you're doing the same thing, just the opposite. I do hate transmog farmers. But yeah, the whole active DPS healer balance, that wouldn't affect anyone negatively, really. So I don't really understand why you wouldn't want them to change it, right? Like that just makes no sense. Someone super casual slash civilians think that the top 1% should suffer regardless if it helps them because they have tried to get into one. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure I understand the reasoning behind it, but yeah, I agree. There's definitely some people that just hate like the top 1%, um, for reasons like they actually just being like super toxic against the top 1%, which really sucks because it's like the top 1% is like super passionate about the game. Like they're literally like playing this game a lot, as you call them, being sweaty nerds, and they just really love the game. You know, they just want the game to be good. So being super toxic against them for some like spiteful reason is just honestly really toxic, and you should stop thinking this way. Thanks for the sub, Nature's Remedy. Thank you, thank you. I do partially understand that people don't want WoW to be competitive, and maybe it kind of stems from that. Like some people want WoW to be like super casual, and some people just hate the fact that there's a competitive aspect about the game. Like people hate the MDI, TGP, ritual first. Like they just want the game to be as it was in vanilla, where people just did the thing and there wasn't anyone being like super competitive. People don't like raid area score or blah blah blah, right? And I get that opinion, But then at that point, like if you have that opinion, I think you like you're directing your hate towards the wrong people, because um, if you want the game to be less competitive, then you have to actually ask Blizzard to make it less competitive, right? It's not the competitive player's fault that the game they play is competitive. Because if you remove the top 1%, you're gonna have a new top 1%. Like, they will always exist if the game makes it possible for them to exist, right? So blaming the player base is just like the wrong approach. I personally don't think that the game should be less competitive, because I like the competitive part of it. But if that's your opinion, like if you hate the competitive part of WoW, then you should complain to the people that make the game, right? You shouldn't hate the players. You should hate the people that make the game, if that's your opinion. The only reason why people hate the top percent is because they're upset or angry that their class isn't the best and blame it all on the top 1%, saying it's their fault things get nerfed. I mean, that's just irrational thinking. Like, that's just stupid people, though. Like, what does that even mean? It's like classes only get balanced because of the top 1%. Like, how does that make sense? I can't even like, I can't find a single like logical reason why anyone would think that. I think people like you and Naguura are sensitive and have an ego about this game. I'm just of the opinion, similar to Asmon, where Blizzard just designed the game to be fun for the majority of the players and let the degen 1% who play this game 15 hours a day do whatever they want. Don't design the game to throttle them like the AoE cap, super hard and complicated mechanics to combat add-ons and so on. I mean, you're basically under the assumption that Blizzard is creating the game around the 1%, which I always think is funny whenever people say things like that, right? Because why would Blizzard do that? Like, whatever Blizzard does, all the changes that Blizzard does, almost all of them, are catered towards the majority player base. Why would it be otherwise? Like, Blizzard would be really stupid if that would not be the case, right? Like, this whole AoE cap thing that you're talking about, it's not because they want to hold back the good players. That's not the reason. Like, it's not like, oh, we're gonna create an AoE cap to hold back the good players, but only on some classes, not on all of them. It's like, what do you think? Some people have uncapped AoE and other people are capped because Blizzard thinks that only bad players play like Fire Mage. That's why we don't have to cap them. But we do have to cap Rogue because they're really good, so we have to cap their AoE. It's like, no, obviously not. The reason why caps exist is probably, I don't know for certain, but I think Blizzard wanted to create more niches. So you have like the uncapped AoE classes, you have the like cleave classes that do more damage on like smaller targets, and so on. Like, I think they just literally wanted to create like more niches for classes. But it's not that they wanted to cap everyone, because otherwise they would have kept everyone. Oh yeah, I'm coming. We going now? Annalisa? I like how you type into me in chat. Yeah, I'm coming. I don't know, maybe. Whenever you want to go, we can go now. But yeah, the whole, like, I think sometimes people have this opinion that Blizzard does a certain change for the top 1%, when in fact that's not actually true. The, the specific example of the capping, by the way, for example, right? Like, Blizzard did not cap the AoE damage of certain classes because of the top 1%. Like, that's just like a very irrational thought. It's not logical. And I think some other examples that people have as well, that think, oh, Blizzard made the game worse because of the 1%, when in fact Blizzard just did the change for reasons. Like, for example, the whole Covenant thing. They didn't create covenants for the top 1%. It's like, no. They just thought it was a better experience for everyone, which ended up not being true, but. People just love drama and getting mad. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm not even saying that people should be mad or whatever. I just always think it's really silly to direct your frustration towards the players. Like, it's just such a weird thing for me. Like, it's just so weird. If you want the game to be different or better, then how is it gonna help anyone that you're directing your hate towards part of the player base? It's like, if you want the game to be different, then tell Blizzard you want the game to be different. Don't be like, the top 1% should stop playing the game. It's like, okay, well, then there will just be a new top percent, yeah? It's like, it's not gonna change. But anyway, I'm gonna go for dinner. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, hopefully, I have my proper setup so we can have a longer stream. And I have like a proper like stream deck and stuff. But I guess this wasn't even that bad, right? Like, the camera is really good. And the microphone is not even that horrible. It's a headset microphone. It's not even that bad. I'm very impressed. In fact, I think this microphone might actually be better than my mic. Because Frank was sitting next to me and you couldn't hear him speak. But whenever I have my normal mic, you would hear everyone in this room. So I think maybe you just keep this. Honestly, I don't know. And on one hand, it's kind of nice to hear the other people, though. But then when everyone's raiding, you can hear them like if Jack is here, he's always yelling. So you can hear every word Jack is saying, which might not be great with the like boom mic. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll host somebody real quick. Let's see. Who do you want to watch? Are there like very few people online right now? Like, usually my follow list has like a million people online. Oh, it's because I follow EU streamers and it's really late in you. Oh, I get it now. That makes sense. Is Dorky streaming? No. Wait, what? Growl is playing WoW Classic? Oh my god. What's going on? Jesus. Let's host Kalamasi. Teddles? Oh no, Teddles is streaming. He's playing a board game. Huh. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Oh, I want to play board games with people online. I love board games. Thank you guys. All right, have fun watching Kalamasi, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Remember to follow my stream, by the way. I should have said this earlier, huh? Follow my stream, please. That'd be nice. Also, check out my YouTube channel. I post some really cool guides there for 10.1. Check it out if you haven't yet. It's posted in the description below and also in the chat right now. I also have a TikTok. One of the best World of Warcraft TikToks out there. Trust me. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have. Okay.